Hi, folks. George Rodriguez, El Conservador, talking to you from San Antonio on this Friday, May 29th, 2026. There are some very violent protests going on in New Jersey against ICE at a ICE facility regarding the law enforcement efforts of that agency. People there are, New Jersey is a sanctuary state, and politicians, community leaders, liberal politicians, liberal community leaders are doing everything in their power to shut the facility down, to interfere with ICE, and to do everything they can to disrupt the agency's mission. Are they justified? Well, let's understand this. Should we punish illegal immigration? And again, the word illegal. Should illegal aliens be deported? ICE is a federal agency, my friends. It is a federal agency just like the FBI, and it has a mission. Whereas Border Patrol arrests people, illegal aliens crossing the border illegally, it is the role of ICE, it is their mission to arrest people who are illegal aliens in the interior of the country. They have focused mostly lately on the issue of illegal aliens who are criminals. Let's remember what happened in the past 4 years under the Biden administration, where anybody and everybody was crossing the border, and we knew on many occasions these people were criminals, but we couldn't stop them. They were being released into the states. There are others that have committed crimes, murders, rapes, child molestation. I mean, there are others that have committed crimes that have been arrested. However, sadly, because of sanctuary cities, they are being released. And again, New Jersey being a sanctuary state, they're not doing anything. Now, my friends, let's understand this. What if a police officer arrested somebody on the street and people interfered? And it does happen nowadays in many jurisdictions. People try to interfere because they have no fear of the law. They have no respect for the law. That is the same situation that is happening here. A law enforcement agent is arresting a criminal, someone who has crossed the border illegally. In many cases, somebody who has committed a crime besides crossing the border illegally. Imagine if you went to jail and demanded the release of a criminal just because you didn't agree with the law. And again, my friends, an illegal alien is a criminal. So, how do we protect and secure our borders if people openly oppose the removal of illegal aliens? How do we control who enters the country? Should we punish foreigners for breaking the laws while they are in our country? Of course, the answer is yes. Do citizens, on the other hand, do citizens have the right to protest laws that they disagree with? Yes, they do. However, citizens do not have the right to interfere with law enforcement. They do not have the right to interfere or threaten law enforcement officials. They do not have the right to be violent. That is not free speech. Also, my friends, politicians and community leaders should respect the law and should encourage the respecting of the law. They should discourage violent protests. They should discourage interference with law enforcement. They should not create public confrontations. They should tell the truth and not rely on hearsay to spread rumors. They should calm the situation instead of inflaming it. If people want to change the law, my friends, they should follow the proper civilized process and procedure, not street confrontations. People who interfere with or threaten or attack law enforcement officials, they should be arrested and they should be punished. We need elected officials that will stand up and not be afraid to enforce the laws, my friends. This pattern of violent protests and interference with ICE, my friends, ICE activities, it must stop. It must not be tolerated and accepted. This is the same game plan that's going on right now as the George Floyd defund the police movement. Local police in liberal cities, and liberal and leftist cities, have become ineffective and emasculated in fighting crime. That's the truth. That's the fact. They have discouraged local police officers from being proactive in fighting crime and have limited the hiring of more police officers. That's what the leftists and liberals have done, and they have prosecuted and persecuted police officers for doing their job. The liberals and the leftists, my friends, want to do the same thing with ICE and the Border Patrol. What part of the word illegal in illegal immigration don't these liberals and leftists understand? Let's understand this, though. This attack on ICE and the Border Patrol is an attack on border security, on national security, on public safety, and on law and order. We must stop it, my friends. People who encourage this kind of disruption, this public disruption, this social disruption, they must be punished, because if you don't punish bad behavior, my friends, you get more and worse behavior. I'm George Rodriguez, El Conservador. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Till next time, thank you very much.